Hey, y'all. Before we even unpack this wild political soap opera, you already know the drill. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with your crew. Because what you're about to hear, it's messy, it's bold, and it's dripping with the kind of irony you couldn't write if you tried. So picture this. Tiffany Henyard walks up at a township event, all smiles and confidence, like she's about to host Family Feud. She looks over the crowd and asks, "Did any of y'all know about the budget meeting on Saturday?" Her tone says she's expecting silence, ready to catch folks slipping. But instead, boom, 3 hands shoot up, then more, then a whole wave. "Yes, we knew," they say, and that split-second look on her face, pure panic. She tried to pivot, stuttered through excuses, flipping the question like she could rewrite the moment. But the audience wasn't buying it. This wasn't a slip-up. It was a live, televised freefall. Now rewind the tape. Those so-called secret Saturday meetings Tiffany claimed were plotted behind her back? Not secret at all. They were regular, publicly posted trustee meetings. Same time, same place, every month. She could have been there. She just didn't show. And because she skipped, the board had to move forward, appointing Trustee House as mayor pro tem just to keep the town running. She called it sabotage. The rest of the world called it doing their jobs, SO, when she strutted in later, acting like some queen betrayed, demanding, "They didn't even tell me." The crowd wasn't having it. "Oh, they told you," they shot back. And in that instant, everything she thought she controlled, power, trust, respect, evaporated like sugar in hot tea. It all happened live, right in front of her own people. That wasn't just embarrassment. It was accountability kicking the door down with cameras rolling. And it hit hard. Now let's talk about this access thing. Budget meetings at 9 a.m. on a Saturday? That's not community engagement. That's political theater in business casual disguise. No clear breakdowns. No real effort to explain numbers to regular folks. Just pages of spreadsheets and a cloud of smoke. Tiffany loves to preach about public input, but only when she's center stage holding the mic. And when things don't go her way, suddenly everyone else is unfair or against her. And trust, it gets even pettier. At one point, Tiffany straight up locked the municipal building, like physically locked it. The trustees had to meet outside on the sidewalk or hop on Zoom like it was quarantine season all over again. And when people called her out, she said they chose to do it that way. "Please, sis. Ain't nobody out here volunteering to battle mosquitoes, and Wi-Fi lag just for fun." The delusion was next level. If you rewatch that clip, you'll catch something wild. She's still ranting, still trying to control the room, while in the background, the motion to appoint her replacement is already happening. No hesitation. No delay. They were done. Her speech wasn't a comeback. It was background noise to her own downfall. One stage performance completely overshadowed by a board that had already moved on. And the craziest part? Clips like that get buried fast. They get pushed down the feed like they don't matter. But if you watch closely, you see everything. Tiffany walked in expecting control. Instead, she got reality, raw, unfiltered, and loud. The illusion cracked. The audience saw through it all. So here's the real question. Was Tiffany dodging responsibility from the start? Was this all just performance to distract from the mess behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you felt that poetic justice hit deep, you know the move. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're done with fake leadership wrapped in PR spin. Here's what Tiffany never got. This wasn't even a debate about replacing her. That decision was already in motion before she grabbed the mic. While she was ranting, the mayor pro tem was already running things. And when she finally caught on, you could practically hear the meltdown brewing. Then came the wild twist. She started claiming there was no transparency because the trustees didn't break down every budget line for her personally. Girl, transparency doesn't start at the meeting. It starts at home. And her story? Full of plot holes big enough to drive a township snowplow through. Out of nowhere, she throws in, "I haven't approved a liquor license in over a year and a half." Like that's something to brag about. But that's not leadership. That's a chokehold on small businesses. That's bars that never opened, restaurants that never launched, jobs that never existed. She's not protecting the community. She's strangling its growth. You can't call that moral high ground when you're standing on the necks of local entrepreneurs. That's not virtue. It's sabotage. And the vibe in that room? Unreal. In the background, Kamal's standing there glowing like he just left Area 51 with a lifetime supply of calm. Tiffany's talking no liquor licenses. And her man's back there looking higher than township taxes. The contradictions were screaming. It was giving rules for thee, not for me. And everyone in that room felt it. You didn't even need sound. The hypocrisy spoke for itself. Let's get one thing straight. Those denied licenses? They had nothing to do with violations or keeping the town safe. They were denied because Tiffany simply didn't feel like approving them. No board, no policy. Just her mood deciding people's livelihoods. That's why local entrepreneurs are bleeding out before they even get started. You can't stand in front of camera and talk about economic growth while you're blocking every single road to it. That's not leadership. That's ego in a power suit pretending to be policy. Then she pulls out her budget sheets like she's about to blow the lid off some conspiracy. Vehicle licenses down from $95,000 to $70,000. Fire recovery revenue from $75,000 to $20,000. Fines from $25,000 to $15,000. Bonds from $1.2 million to $1.1 million. Sounds dramatic, right? Except those drops are just the trustees cleaning up her mess, scrubbing out the shady Tiffany taxes she built into the system. There's no scandal here, just accountability. And she hates it because, for once, someone dared to make moves without asking for her permission. She really thought this was going to be her grand comeback moment, her big told you so. But by the time she finished talking, the room had already moved on. She asked a question, but she wasn't ready for the answer. That wasn't a smear campaign, it was a mirror, and the reflection wasn't pretty. When your leadership turns into performance art, the receipts start screaming louder than the speeches. The people didn't betray her. They just stopped pretending they couldn't see through her act. Now she's caught in this weird spin cycle, 1 minute claiming she's available, the next saying she's locked out. Which is it? You can't play victim and ghost at the same time. Saying, I wasn't there, but I was alive when it happened doesn't make sense. It sounds like a bad episode of Ghost Adventures. Pick a lane, Tiffany. Stick to it. And maybe next time, bring receipts that don't crumble under a basic fact check. And that 9:15 a.m. email for a noon Zoom? She's calling it sabotage. But in reality, it was a lifeline, a chance to show up and do her job. Instead, she clings to it like proof of some grand setup, ignoring the earlier notices altogether. I didn't see it as a defense. It's a confession. Tiffany, this isn't a system error. It's a you error. A leadership glitch dressed up as a victim story. Then comes a grand finale. She looks out the crowd, voice full of drama, and says, by a show of hands, who even knew about the budget meeting? Expecting gasps and outrage. But the crowd didn't play along. Hands went up, heads nodded, and the truth echoed louder than her speech. That was the moment the mask cracked. The performance ended, and the truth stepped forward. Because rule number 1, never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. And when she did, the people gave it to her, raw, real, and unapologetic. That wasn't sabotage. That was accountability, live and in color. Proof that you can hold the mic. But the truth will always belong to the people. Tiffany tried to turn it into a performance. But the audience wrote the end. Let's wrap it up with this. Know your audience. That's rule number 1 in life and leadership. You can't lead the same people you're trying to fool. And if you've been riding with Mama this long, drop a 7 in the comments. Lucky number 7. That's how I know you're tapped in, tuned in, and tired of the nonsense. Because you're the reason this message keeps moving. I see you, I hear you, and I love you. Deeply, unapologetically, always.